Happy days, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to All Things Spring. Hosts are Up All Night, DIY, Shabby Meets Bling, and The Chic Show. DIY number 1. I did this egg and painted the different halves and did different things with them. And this is the one half I did. I'm painting it with a DIY paint. And now I've got a little bit of on my brush and I'm just dabbing it on to give it a little texture. It's been a while since I painted it. And I am using an IOD bunny. Now, there's some mistakes in here, but I left them in to show you so you know how to fix them if you make this mistake. I did not seal the paint, which usually I do, and I just didn't even think about it. And I went to burnish the bunny on, and you'll see the mistake I made. It took up paint. So I thought about what am I going to do? So I took some liquid patina. You could use something like Mod Podge or Aleene's or anything like that. And I coated the egg all over, sealed it like I should have done in the first place. Being on plastic, it probably brought it up even faster, but I didn't let the paint cure very well either. If I'd left it overnight to cure, it would have been much better. So what I did was I cut out the part where the paint lifted, and I'm just trimming around it, and I'm laying it back down in the spot. And I've seen since this that somebody else did something similar. So I'm just kind of tapping it down. And I do leave it all night to cure. So then I put on the rest of the bunny and it stuck. And I'm just going around the edge with a little bit of the paint to dab on and cover up the mess I made. I don't know why I didn't show you how it cured, but it cured. And even in the spot I put it, it cured really well, and the plastic lifted up, and look how good it looks. So now I'm going to put it on the stand. I've got this spool-looking stand I got from somebody, probably an online auction or whatnot or something. I think I got it from my friend Teresa. And I've got some of these little blocks I am gluing together. I figured 3 would do it. So I glue it on the stand. And then I'm trying to figure out what to do. Okay, so I'm getting some more. I'll glue them together. And then I glue them onto the egg. That bunny looks like my bunny, Nutmeg. That's why I had to use it. I probably should have painted the inside, but you won't see it anyway. These big eggs are great to use for different things. I think you could even use them different times of the year for turn it around and make a little assemblage in it, or you can see how I glued it down to the egg and glued it onto the other wooden blocks. Just trying to get it to stand up quite right. This is one of those things where you need your hot glue. And I put another line in there and glued that down too. Okay, there we've got it. Oh, I didn't get it the first time. Here, I'm putting the other one down. And now I'm getting some moss out. I got this moss at Wally Mart. I liked it because I like the really bright green color, and sometimes I just don't find the really bright green at Dollar Tree. So yeah, this probably cost a little more than Dollar Tree, but like I said, I like the bright green color. I have a love-hate relationship with moss, but I think everybody does. Now, these are some little flowers, single flowers that I got at Temu. Cute little things. Love the colors. They're kind of muted. You'll see them better when I get done. Now I'm going to put some butterflies on there because it's bees, birds, butterflies, and spring. And what's more spring than bunnies and butterflies? Oh, I made that bow at the top out of ticking. We used to call it pillow ticking. Now they just call it ticking. And I tore a little piece off and frayed the edges and put some of those little flowers in the middle of it, glued it on top. So here I'm putting the butterflies on. I figured out that it went on better with my thumbnail. Maybe because it's on a curved surface or something, but it went on really well with my thumbnail, so I just kept using my thumbnail. I'm lifting it up. Now I'm just doing a little burnish with my fingers to make sure everything's stuck, and I will seal them later on. And guess what I didn't do on this? I didn't dark wax it. But you know what? I think I like it bright the way it is, instead of making it look all vintage. Putting a little flower down there with the butterfly on it. I wish IOD did one with more bees, because they only do a few bees here and there, and I think I've used them all. There it is, all done. It's adorable, isn't it? You can see the texture on there. DIY number 2. I have had these rolling pins. I've got quite a few, all painted for a while, just with the white. Linen white, DIY paint linen white. Now I'm using the new DIY Jamie Ray vintage colors, cottage colors, and this is called Honey. Love it. I just love this color. I think it's so spring. So then I just want to give it a little shabby look. Shabby it up a little bit. I know it sounds silly to paint something and then sand it back, huh? But I think it just gives it such a good vintage look. And that's what I'm about, vintage looks. And I am taking flowers from IODs and rubbing them on. And I decided I'd put flowers all over it, and then I would add my butterflies. You know, when something's curved like this, the IODs go on so much better than if you're, putting it vertically. And there I am putting on butterflies. And I think this has such a shabby chic look to it. I just love it. Maybe a cottage core or a French provincial, whatever you want to call it. How about a shabby chic provincial? Oh yeah, I put a few birds on there too. I liked this Hummer. I thought it was so pretty. And you know what's really cool about living where I do is I have Hummers all year long, even in the winter. So we keep the food out there, and boy, they suck it down. They're so cute. I love watching them. Yeah, we put out food, especially in winter when things aren't blooming so much. But it's weird down here in the Southwest that there's flowers that bloom all year. We have some in the winter. We have some in the spring. There's hot weather ones. It's funny. Okay, here I'm using my dark wax, giving it that shabby chic look, or shabbying it up. Cottage core. How about for provincial cottage core? Or granny chic. We'll call it granny chic because I'm a granny. I put it on and then I wipe it off. And one thing, oh, this is DIY dark wax. And see, it didn't make it real dark. Final reveal. DIY number 3. So I have to get the bees in here. And my friend gave me this for last year's birthday. It's a cutting board, but I don't want to cut on this. It's too cute. So I used the honey and I painted it a little darker all around the edges of the cells because it only had a few cells on the edges. And it had a bee, but he wasn't really too noticeable, so I painted over the top of it. These are kind of engraved in, but not real deep. Okay, I'm putting a little bit of that honey color. And I'm putting a little bit of brown in there, just an acrylic paint. The honey color's another Jamie Ray vintage cottage color. And I put just a little bit of red in there to darken it up. Oh, excuse me. As I want to paint the cells to make them stand out. I'm just tapping it on so it doesn't cover it up. And I took my IOD stamp and did have a bee stamp to stamp on there. And I stamped 3 bees on there. And I didn't like the first one. It was a little too dark, so I take and just get my towel wet and wipe it off. And I just lifted my stamp. Sometimes it's better to stamp it before. I didn't press as hard on it. Hold it down and touch it all over. There, that's better. Now I took a little acrylic paint and I'm just going to paint the stripes on to make them stand out a little bit more. Just giving this a dark wax too, because I love that dark wax. On some things I like the white wax too. I hardly ever use the clear. Maybe I should use the clear more often. Tell me what you think. And I do like your comments. Sometimes they're not what I always agree with, but I do like your comments to see, what you think. I got one the other day and I thought, I think I kind of agree with it. That's how I'm going to be a better artist too, and see what appeals to you. But I do me, as if you can't tell. So I took a big plaid bow and I made a awareness ribbon, and I got these little tiny bees. I think I got them from Temu. I could have gotten them from Amazon. Little tiny ones. They're so cute, and put them all over the bow. I was going to hot glue it on, but that hot glue gun. Ugh. So I ended up getting some wire and putting some wire on it, and I wired it down. Okay. You wanted to just sit there and stare at the wreath for a while, didn't you? So there it is, all finished. And look at those little tiny bees. They're so cute. So here's the final reveal. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. Look how cute they all look together. Here you can see the bunny good and the flowers. You can just set the rolling pin out, or you could put it in a wall pocket, or you could hook it on a wreath, or just all kinds of things you could do with it. This wreath I got at Wally Mart. I thought it was a cool boxwood wreath. And I didn't want to put anything on there permanently in case I want to use it for something else. So I could take these off and store them and use them for something else. Give you a good look at it. Croc. Oh, they're cute in Crocs. Okay, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Love each and every one of you. You're very important to me and my channel.